Oh, if you were anything like me and are just wondering where the heck that weekend go? Did we have a weekend? Yeah, you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a world that we live in. And a happy Monday to you. Thank you for being here. We do this. We do this every day at 11 o'clock, Monday through Friday. I appreciate your patience on the podcast. Last week was kind of goofy, so we got it all taken care of. Podcast is up, and be sure to check that out. Do me a favor, if you're listening, wherever you are, subscribe to this, share it out if you could. Let's build something pretty cool, because we're going to talk like grown-ups with each other. We're going to have a fun talk about the outdoors. We're going to give you a lot of cool ideas, tips, tricks, products that you're going to like as well. So just share it out if you could. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're listening to the podcast, do the same. If you could, that would be fantabulous. You know, those podcast platforms, boy, they sure want to make sure that you have enough followers and listeners to have the privilege of being upon their platform. This week was the Arizona Game and Fish Expo, and let me tell you something, this is pretty dang cool. I love this thing. This thing's been going on for a hot minute. The Arizona Game and Fish Expo is free to the public, great family event, food trucks, vendors, all that stuff, shooting and exhibitions. There we go. I'll get it. Woohoo! Coffee. Let's see, which side is my coffee on? It's on this side. Here we go. I have an order on its way too. Holy cow, do I need some coffee today? The exposition. Exhibitions, I got it. I really did. And it's just fun for the whole family. Kids are catching their first fish there. Kids are they're learning firearm safety. I'm gonna get it. It's gonna come around today. Whoo, this is the fun of doing live programming. Yeah, here we go. And we were there. I was there not on a show capacity, at another one of my capacities. That is Wildlife for Tomorrow, which is the 501c3 nonprofit fundraising arm of your Arizona Game and Fish Department. So we are basically the best kept secret in conservation, which is going to change because we're going to do some cool stuff there. So it was really, really cool to get to be in the vendor tent and see a bunch of the other critter groups and see people I haven't talked to in a hot minute. It's rare that we all come together in this type of gathering. So I wanted to get over to see Terry Herndon, of course, from Arizona Mule Deer Organization. Now, cool organization, get involved with what they do. A lot of cool stuff. Terry runs a good organization over there. Terry's a good dude. And I hadn't talked to him since the commission ditched or started to phase out. I have to say this properly. Phase out the commission, the auction tags. And so I wanted his opinion on it. I got to tell you, I thought he'd be hot. I thought he'd be pretty fired up about it, like every other head of the critter groups. Then I forgot it's Terry Herndon. Terry is probably one of those level-headed dude. I've seen him get fired up, but he's just, all right. Yep. That was expected. We knew that was coming. We, maybe sliding a little bit of, well, I think this is behind it. Okay, fine, cool. But that's about it. It wasn't torches and pitchforks and we're going to go after the commission. They're all evil. Where's that Guggenauer guy? Everyone get after him. No. Terry was just cool. Just, all right, whatever. We'll figure it out. And we will. We will, and we always have. Arizona always has. America always has. Our conservation groups always have. We have always figured it out. We have been, we tread some very unique waters in the world of conservation, and they're challenging waters. And we every time something changes, we dust ourselves off, and we grab our bootstraps, and we just drudge through whatever we have to till we get to the other side, and we're moving on and scooting again. That is what we do as a conservation organization. That's what we do in all of conservation. We have since the beginning of time, since my man Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir went on their little camping expedition when we were just off to the races. After that, can you imagine that, by the way? Can you imagine that sell for that is we are going to conserve giant portions of the nation, and we are going to fund conservation in each and every state by taxing outdoors men and women 11% above their taxes. Could you imagine? I mean, look, you know me. I'm doing this 11 years. I would absolutely do most anything for conservation. Ooh, that's a tough one, especially in these times, right? So what 11%? That's a lot of shit on top of that. I mean, I'm spending $500 for a firearm here. Yeah. And now I'm spending 55 above that because the aminals all need nice habitats. I guess we'll do it. But we've been doing this time and time again. And talk about just whatever, just get it done. I got to go see my man Dan, and Dan is I know him as the blind hunter. I call him the blind hunter. I don't. That's not his branding, but what's up, Heathen? I call him the blind hunter. He is no excuse hunting. You can go check it out. The man is quite literally blind, not born this way. Happened after an accident. Blind, still hunts. Again, I'll remind you, blind, and remind you, still hunts, and pretty much out hunts all of us. The man is a machine. The man's always talking about, on this hunt, I'm at this state, I'm going this, I'm doing that. No excuse hunting. Got to check it out. Had to go see Dan. And I was there. I saw him the second day, because first day was all busy. Second day on Sunday, I got some time when it was almost rained out, and I got to go see him, and he's got some really cool stuff. You got to look it up. Good. No excuses hunting. The man is blind, and he basically is a video game for his guide. It's the coolest thing in the world. His guide sees exactly what his firearm is aimed at. He sees the crosshairs. He's got a Tacticam system on there. Holy mackerel. Like Bruce Wayne called, wants you down in R&D to check this thing out, right? Holy mackerel. So cool to watch. And the guy just goes left, right, down a little bit, down, fire. So he is the hunter. It is cool. It's a team operation, and I'm very, very excited. I was kind of tethered with the 4 to 7 slot over there at iHeart for several years, and didn't have a lot of time to scoot out and go on a hunt with Dan. So I'm very excited to do that. It was really, really cool to see him. And thank you so much at the Arizona Expo, the Arizona Game and Fish Expo. Thank you for coming out and just saying hi. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys stopping and not just waving and walking by and just stepping up, shaking my hands. Brandon, appreciate you showing up. And I got the MJ Deer story. A couple of shows, actually a couple of weeks ago. It was funny. He popped in the comments here and said that he names his, because I name all my mounts. And so he names his as well. And one was named Michael Jackson. I'm like, I do not put that in the comment section, buddy. I don't know where this is going. I have no idea. And it was a really cool story. Yeah. I'll ask him. If he's hearing this, I'll pop in the comments, everybody. Let me know if that's is something that I can share. And it was just cool to have people just come up and actually just say, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. A lot of people want to ask what happened with the Russell and Hunter show, what happened on KFYI, and that's okay. And I have no problems, by the way. If you want to ask what happened, okay, cool. Here's Can we just share? If you don't mind, I'll just share. Rob and I had the most successful afternoon show in that time slot. We just did. And I mean, they had to go back and look at our contracts to find out what bonuses were, because they never paid out bonuses. Rob and I crushed it. We really did. For all accounts, all intents and purposes, we dominated. Revenue-wise, ratings-wise, we dominated. And Rob decided one day he doesn't want to do this anymore. After 20-something years, he's like, I just can't. Political talk radio is not easy. It's a grind. It's a tough industry. And the topics are it's tough to constantly talk about that. It's challenging. And he's like, that's not really what I want to do with my life. So I'm gone. And so then it became the Mike Russell Show for a brief stint. And they decided to combine Phoenix and Tucson. And so they're simulcast in Phoenix and Tucson. So they went from 5 salaries down to 2. And there we go. It was a money issue, plain and simple. There's really all we can do. Yeah, so that's what happened. So now we're streaming, and we'll be streaming today at 4:00, Fridays of the nooner. We do that twice a week. So hang out if we want. But I appreciate you stopping by, asking the questions, because it means that you pay attention, you care, you understand. And Rob and I are good. We're all good in the hood, and we're just gonna keep stepping forward and doing this just like we're doing this right here on the Go Show. Now, huge thank you, and a little bit of a coming soon after the show. Very shortly after the show, I am going to be drawing the winner of the Canyon Cooler, the 30, the Mule 30. This thing is all kind of cool. Thank you so much, Canyon Coolers, for donating that so we could have it in our booth, because let's face it. I mean, we're Wildlife for Tomorrow. Wildlife for Tomorrow is not an exciting booth you want to stop by, right? Doesn't seem like it. We're the 501c3 fundraising arm for Game and Fish Department. Not much of a draw, okay? Especially with my ugly face in the booth, not much of a draw. So you had this mule, which was the Canyon Cooler, and y'all should know some Canyon Coolers. You go to canyoncoolers.com. Here's what I want you to do. Use the code GOSHOW, 15% off your order. How about that? But this thing is a small little guy, and it's got wheels, and it's got a telescopic handle, and you get to pull it and drag it down to the beach or the lake or wherever you're going. And how about this? The latches are on the side, not the front. So while the handle is extended, you can still open the cooler and get your juice. How about that? But a huge thank you for that, because that was a draw. People saw that. So you guys, is a raffle? How much does the ticket cost? We're like, nothing. Just get in there, man. Just put your name in there. So I had a lot of entries in there, and it started to a lot of conversations, which led to, hey, I want to sign up for one of your events. I want to volunteer. I want to go to your website and get more information. Whew. Thank you, Canyon Coolers. Thank you, Jason, for stepping. By the way, thank you, Dan, for schlepping that thing down from Flagstaff for us. I really appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead and pull the winner after the show. Okay, so check out the social media platforms, both Wildlife for Tomorrow and the Go Show. We're gonna pull that, and we'll tag Canyon Coolers on that and just give them a big thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's get to the actual event itself. On Sunday, it was a little rough. Sunday started, it was muddy, because a huge storm came in. So even the vendor tent it was sloshy. So I was standing in mud talking to people about Wildlife for Tomorrow. And then we got the notice. Game and Fish came around, sent someone to each of the booths and said, we're shutting this down pretty quickly because lightning is on the way. It's going to be a big storm. And so we started packing it up. And that was to me, that was a good call. It's like, okay, thanks for looking out for us. I didn't have my weather bug app. I wasn't looking at weather.com. I was just, it's sprinkling outside. Okay, cool, whatever. I hope they come on in and chat with us because we're in a tent. That's good. And they came along and said, hey, lightning's coming, big storm's coming. We're probably going to call this thing. We're not letting people in right now. We're turning people away. And then so we packed up the booth. Got it all packed up, ready to go. It was rainy, it was wet, it was muddy, it was sloshy, and then poof, sunny skies. And it's just everybody was fine. They were letting people back in. The expo was back on, and here we were with no booth, no signage. And by the time we set it back up, we were gonna have to tear it down again because it was towards the end of the day, and there's only 2 hours left in the program. So we shut it down a little bit early, and I got to tell you something. You know me, I have a very interesting view of government. So, and Game and Fish, they're governmental organization. And so when I heard this come around, I'm like, okay, appreciate it. Thank you. I know you're being cautious, but you know what? Hey, we're dealing in a giant tent with giant metal poles. So if there's lightning coming, I'm gone. And one of those metal poles is right by me, by the way. Nope. No, I'm not even going to gamble. Going to get out of here. So I appreciate it. So when they started to let people back in, they called it back in. One of the vendors, as I was taking a cartload to the truck, one of the vendors he came up to me. Let me get this very straight. Let me tell you very straight. I don't work for Game and Fish. I have nothing to do with this. This man was demanding answers. He was a vendor, apparently. Demanding answers. And by the way, and if you go to something as a vendor, have some signage on that it's you, because that's kind of tip one when you spend money to be a vendor somewhere. Maybe throw a logo on there. Maybe throw a hat, something like this, right? Using the F word as a comma coming at me about there better be a bleeping postmortem on this, and somebody's bleeping head needs to roll. They send around some bleeping low person on the totem pole to give us bleeping bad information. Whoa, dude, chill out. This is the same type of person. This is the same type of person you see on the boat ramps. At the end of the day, or even at the beginning of the day, whatever. This dude was just I don't know what a male Karen is called, but this is a male Karen. This guy was hot. Instead of thinking, you know what, there's probably a good reason for it, and they're being cautious, but something that really hurt my business at this event that I paid for. So maybe I'll call on Monday and see if somebody can give me maybe a discount, something like that, or maybe next if I sign up for the next expo, maybe I get a discount on that. Something. Maybe they can help me out. It's kind of the right way to go about things. But this dude was fired up, and I'm trailing off. We're walking because he paces me and comes up to me. He's talking. And I said, okay, well, okay, great, man. Yeah. I don't run the place. Sorry, dude. Sorry. And I'm peeling off. And he's still jamming, just me. I'm like, there's kids right in front of you, and you're blank this and effity this and blah. Relax, people. It's okay. even if it wasn't a mistake, because I mean, we looked at the weather app and it's like, it kind of seems like it's going to clear up pretty quickly. I don't think we're going to be in the thick of it here. But better safe than sorry. Again, lightning next to a giant metal pole in the tent. So I ain't playing. You know me. I'm gone. Safety third in most things. Safety first when it comes to electricity and me. No kidding. If I put a fan up in the ceiling fan up in the house, I turn the entire power off to the house. I'm not kidding. I do. I turn it all off. I'm like, everyone out. We're not going to have AC. We're not going to have Wi-Fi. We're not going to have lights. Nothing. Just get gone. I'm going to replace ceiling fan. I do not. I hate getting shocked when I reach and hit a doorknob. It goes zap. And I just get, yeah. Kind of ruins my day. I'm fired up. But anyway, don't get too fired up at people. It's okay. There's always a way around things. We can do this. Again, this goes back to like the commission tags. Relax. We're going to figure this out. We have to figure it out. There's no other option. We have to figure it out. But again, stick around. We're going to auction off that. Not auction off. Sorry if it's a little too soon on that one. Not intended. We're going to pull the name out of the cooler and see who won this amazing prize. So hopefully it's a 623 number because I'm in the West Valley. No, I kid. Anywhere it is, we got it. We're going to pull it on social media so you're going to be able to see who won, and hopefully it's you. And again, thank you for stopping by at that. So huge news that we need to have a chat about. Out of Idaho, let's go Idaho. Idaho got smacked. Idaho just got smacked by a federal judge. Their conservation efforts just got kneecapped. Probably kneecapped is a little too strong. Bruised. I'll throw it that way. Okay. And I'm just going to read it to you here. We're going to go through it together, and it's you'll know, right? If you know anything about me, you're going to know exactly. Mike's putting his glasses on, so he's going to go read. All right, here we go. Federal judge restricts wolf trapping in Idaho to protect grizzly bears. I'm going to read it to you just in case you didn't hear me. Federal judge restricts wolf trapping in Idaho to protect grizzly bears. So you're going to restrict the population management of a big tippity-top predator to protect its prey. Yeah, you explain that one to me. Explain that one to me. It's easy to explain. It really is. Let's get down to this article. I'm going to tell you exactly why this is. This is U.S. Magistrate Judge Candy Dale said these cuts were necessary to protect the state's grizzly bear. By the way, the state's grizzly bears don't need a lot of state help. You know why? Because they're on the federal endangered species list. They don't need to be, but they are. Populations are doing great. What? Thanks to what? The North American Model of Wildlife Conservation and the great Idaho Fish and Game Department. That's why. That's why they are thriving. That's why they're winning. Okay, here we go. Let me get into my thoughts on trapping and snaring. I've never done it. When I came into hunting, I thought, "Are you serious? Whoa, dang, that sounds gruesome." I know it's old school. It kind of sounds kind of OG. Why are we trapping and snaring still? Are we on a survival show, or are we surviving? What is this? Or is it just a necessary skill? Or what are we doing here with this trapping and snaring? And then I didn't even have to talk to people. I just had to give it some thought. And my feelings on trapping and snaring went poof, right out the window. 1, it's legal. Done. 2, I have never trapped or snared. 3, I have never been with somebody that is trapping or snaring. So I therefore have zero opinion on it until I dig in and really see what it's all about. Period. Because I'm doing you a disservice. I'm doing me a disservice. I'm doing all of us a disservice. I'm doing conservation a disservice if I just sit here and spout off on the wonderful attributes of snaring and trapping. Or if I say, "Oh, it's barbaric, you can't do that." So I've never done it. Don't have an opinion on it. It's legal. Cool. All right. Have fun. Do your thing. All right, here we go. Effective in the 24-25 trapping season, the courts halts trapping and snaring wolves in several parts of Idaho. Okay. They'll be allowed. It's not a complete ban. They'll be allowed in other times. Now, this is where it gets really silly. Okay. Here's what the judge wrote. There is ample evidence. Here we go. In the record, including from Idaho's own witnesses, an eyewitness. That's great. That's fantastic evidence that lawfully set traps and snares are reasonably likely to take grizzly bears in Idaho. I'm not kidding. There's two examples. There's literally two examples that were cited in this case. Two examples of a grizzly bear getting trapped in a trap or a snare. Two. By the way, both of those instances, poaching. They were illegal traps. They're set illegally. So we're just going to get rid of it all because of that. So what's behind this, do you think? And I think, because let's see, who was for it? I mean, who was against it? The governor of Idaho, Brad Little, the Idaho Department of Fish and Game, and members of the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Commission. All of them said, no, this is dumb. This is dumb. Who brought the lawsuit? The Center for Biological Diversity and you guessed it. Come on. You didn't have to get 3 or 4 guesses. Humane Society of the United States, HSUS. HSUS's entire bent is to eliminate hunting and angling in the entire nation. They have a $150 million legal war chest. They're on it. And so they do it in 2 ways, legislatively or in the courts. So they do some judge shopping, and they find a judge that will be sympathetic to their cause, like this judge that thinks she's a dang biologist, and she's not. She's not a conservationist. She's not a biologist. She's just a person. Oh, yeah. I heard that there was a bear that was, we need to get rid of that. We need to save the endangered bear by increasing the population of their biggest predator. Okay. Yeah. Again, Humane Society of the United States thinking. And again, just so you know, Humane Society of the United States, if they are, if you think you're donating to them because they're going to give money to the Humane Society of your town, they're not. That's not their job. It's not what they do. They take that money and they use it to eradicate hunting and fishing across the nation. Yes. So, although she sided with the plaintiffs, here we go. Dale rejected their motion to ban all wolf trapping and snaring. How nice. In bear habitat. So that's what's important to talk about here. That's what is wildly important to talk about. Because this bozo of a judge that has no idea how to manage populations and healthy populations of wildlife just took evidence by eyewitnesses that there were 2 illegally, by the way, set snares that impacted bear population, that took grizzlies. And I understand that's bad, but what does this legislation do to stop it? It's going to stop poachers again? It's going to stop people working illegally? Now, those that want to do this illegally, which obviously there are, will be there off season when no one else can trap or snare, and they're going to be out there with their traps and snares just bringing in a heyday. This is dumb because this is not done with science. This is not done with biology. This is not done with conservation know-how. This is not done with the model of the North American model of wildlife conservation, period. It is done with instead of winning hearts and minds, it's winning minds through heartstrings is what this is. It's winning. It's winning battles. And this is a huge win for HSUS and a huge L for conservation. When you have the governor, the commission, and the department all going, no, we can't do that. What we've been doing works. That's why the populations of grizzlies in Idaho are flourishing, because we know what works. Now you're going to go jack all that up. I mean, just the ripple effect alone is absolutely staggering. Yes. The other side of this is legislatively. The Humane Society of the United States works, because this is madness. But you think about what they did. Let's go ahead and instead of doing this legally, instead of doing this in the court, let's go ahead and get this to a vote. We're in an election year. Let's go ahead and get some signatures out there. They get a couple pictures of a wolf trapped in a snare. Maybe it's a pup, and it's knocking on doors. Yeah, excuse me. Mr. and Mrs. person that just moved from California. I want to show you a picture. We're trying to get something on the ballot this year that eliminates this, and they show them a picture of a dying wolf or whatever it is. Can you believe people can do that here? People in this day and age can set a metal trap. They'll say a rusty metal trap that's just meant to maim and injure. That's all it is. Sign here, and we're going to eliminate those. Signatures by the dozens. Boom, 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 boom. It gets to the vote. Again, in that legislation, they want an entire, not just a seasonal ban on trapping in Idaho, which the judge said. If it's done legislatively, that's an entire ban plus a ban on X, Y, and Z. Hamstringing the department, the conservation department in Idaho or here in Arizona Game and Fish Department, whatever it is, and their efforts to manage and understand how it all works together. The great circle of life, great circle of conservation. It all works together for the betterment of our world. But being as the North American model has to do with hunting and fishing and taking of animals, taking of wildlife, these people are tugging at heartstrings to make sure it goes away. Not knowing, not understanding what they're going to do to conservation and how much that hurts. So, conservation, by the way, funded by firearm sales, ammunition sales, outdoor equipment. That's how it's funded. So, the same thing. When you have an organization trying to ban a certain type of firearm, understand what that is going to do. Understand, please, what that will do to conservation. Basically, to conservation funding, because that's how it's funded. But this is a great wake-up call. This is a fantastic wake-up call. And I encourage you to really start chatting about this in your circles, because more than a commission getting rid of auction tags, more so is the power and the reach of HSUS and Center for Biological Diversity. They have no idea what that means. When they came up with that title, they knew exactly what it would mean to fundraising, but they're not celebrating biological diversity. They're crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Look at the bozos in Colorado. Let's bring back these giant wolves. What could go? We don't need hunters. We need hunters. Watch. We just release a bunch of wolves into the wilderness, and everything's going to manage itself. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be great. What could possibly go wrong? Put a couple dozen out there. Sure. Don't worry. We got eyes on them. I'm sorry. They drop how many per litter? Yeah, I'm sure we'll know. I'm sure. No. When one's prego, and we're gonna follow her around. Don't worry. Nothing's gonna pass, and it's gonna slip by us, right? As Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, nature finds a way. Period. Ugh, what could possibly go wrong? But there are, outside of the HSUS, there are entire states and commissions that are very hell-bent on eliminating hunting as part of the model for conservation, getting rid of a tried and true, proven method. And tomorrow what I'll do is I'll bring you stats. I'll bring you species by species stats of the success of the North American model of wildlife conservation as it stands today, where it started, or what we say on social media all the time. Yeah. How it started, how it's going. And because part of that is a take of animals, a take of wildlife, harvesting, whatever you want to say, that tugs at people's heartstrings that don't understand how conservation works in our nation and why it is the gold standard, why it is the crown jewel, why every nation looks to us to conserve their wildlife. And in Arizona, it's fantastic. In Arizona, I don't know if you understand this, Arizona is the most biodiverse non-coastal state in the nation. The other states get to count their fishes. We have over 820 species of wildlife that your Arizona Game and Fish manage healthy populations of. Okay. Oh, male Karen is a Kyle. I didn't catch that. Thank you very much, Taylor. I appreciate that. Yes. This straight up Kyle. Yeah, straight up Kyle. I was about to do my bust into my Cartman impression, but I don't think that's appropriate here. Anyway, importance of just knowing the HSUS, Center for Biological Diversity, is coming at states like Arizona that just have their hands full with 820 species of wildlife to manage. And by the way, only I think about 60 of those are game species. So only 750 something species that don't even benefit us as hunters to an outside view, but we know as hunters and anglers, we know exactly how that all fits together. How our culling of populations helps other populations, that helps other populations, all the way down the line. And that's important. And I hope you can see the importance in that, and I hope you can share in that as well. And I just keep an eye when you see any type of legislation coming up, anything on the ballot, go through it, find out who brought the ballot to signatures, who brought the ballot to the state, and then look into it. But hopefully the state will challenge this ruling. I'm sure they will appeal, and then hopefully we can just understand this is not we're not playing around here. We're not goofing around. We're here to conserve wildlife. No, you're here to kill wildlife. No, we're here to conserve wildlife. If you want to fund it, you fund it. Could you imagine? We get rid of the model. People stop buying. They get rid of the excise tax on firearms and ammunition and outdoor equipment. Could you imagine? Where are we going to get that money? Where's that coming from? We'd have to have probably a ginormous tax increase in every state, and every state's going to just lose their minds about it. You think the commission tag thing was, the auction tag thing was a big deal. Consequences to actions. Remember, make good choices. Told your kids that, right? Make good choices. Yeah, they're not making good choices. HSUS is making good choices. HSUS is swinging. They're not going away. $150 million a year. They are just coming in with everything they can, every court case they can, every attorney they can, every piece of legislation, every legislator they can. And they're going to, in their mind, succeed at their mission in eradicating hunting and angling in this nation altogether. Yeah, so not messing around. Hey, a little later, in just a few here, what we're going to do is we're going to auction off, doggone it. Maybe it's my auctioneering skills that keep making me say that. I'm just kidding. I actually do a lot of live auctioning, and it's terrible. It's awful. Sound like Porky Pig having a seizure. It's awful. So, but we are going to pull the winner of the caning cooler from the Arizona Expo for the Arizona Game and Fish Expo for Wildlife for Tomorrow, graciously donated by our pals at Caning Cooler. So we're going to do that in just moments here on the social medias. So tomorrow, let's get after it again right here, 11 o'clock on the Go Show. Have a great afternoon, everyone.